Good evening, everyone, and we are welcome you to this session, the first session, ATLAS.ti session, titled Unlocking Qualitative Insight, which is an introduction to ATLAS.ti. My name is Tony Nelson Machila, and I am certified ATLAS.ti professional trainer and work as research training officer here at the University of South Africa, based in the College of Graduate Studies under the School of Interdisciplinary Research and Graduate Studies. And I want to start by thanking each and every one of you for joining today. Whether you are an honor student, postgraduate diploma student, just beginning your research journey, or a master's PhD candidate who is deep into your studies, or you might be a staff member looking just to strengthen your understanding of this qualitative data analysis tool. So this session is the very first in what will be a growing session like the previous years of ATLAS.ti workshops. So think of this first session that we are having today as laying the foundation, because foundation is always important. So we are not going to try to learn everything in 45 minutes. But the goal here is to help you to understand and appreciate what Atlas it is, why it matters for your research, and also to give you enough, that adequate orientation so that when you go or when you go deeper into the sessions that are going to follow, then you feel confident and ready. So it is important that you feel comfortable in using ATLAS.ti, confident and also ready to use it. We have Q&A chat box, so whenever you have comments and session, feel free to put them in the chat. You can also tell us the phase that you are in and the type of data that you are analyzing. I believe we'll have enough time at the end for Q&A, but if something crops up, feel free to type it in the chat. Special greetings again to Ms. Komoto Nyamagazi, who is one of the certified ATLAS.ti trainers in the university. We are blessed to really have you join our session. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. So now, before we dive into the software itself, because today is going to be practical, we are going into ATLAS.ti live. But before we do that, I want us to pause and think about something. Let's think about banking. Because not so long ago, if you wanted to transfer money, you had to physically go to the bank. You had to stand in a queue, fill in forms, and wait. But today, just open, the app on your phone, and it's done, in seconds, few seconds. The money is the same, the transaction are the same, but the tool has changed everything. Because now the process is faster, it's more efficient, and you have each and every record, of those transactions. Or it may be even cooking, our grandparents, some cook outside, and by instinct, a pinch of this, a handful of that, beautiful food, but try to replicate it today, almost impossible. So today we have precise recipe, kitchen scale, smart ovens, step-by-step video guides. You can even cook something with a Wi-Fi ready air fryer while you are at work. So the life for cooking has not changed, but then the tools have made it more consistent, more shareable, and more, what can I say, replicable. And I want to bring this home to research. Many of you probably analyzing or you have analyzed data using various tools. I know some students use Word, highlighting the text with different colors, copying and pasting codes into separate documents like Excel and so on, writing codes on sticky notes, or even printing transcripts and cutting them, with scissors and so on. And let me be honest, that approach can work. It has worked. I've seen a lot of people who have done that, and they've produced beautiful data analysis, beautiful and excellent dissertation. But here is the thing, just like banking, which move from the queue to the app, and cooking that move from this guesswork to guided precision. Qualitative data, it has also moved. It has also moved from the manual to digital. And ATLAS.ti is that move that we are talking about. So I must say, it does not think for you. These are some of the misconceptions that we must address. It does not think for you. It does not analyze for you. You are still the researcher. You still make the intellectual decisions. Even if you are using this AI tools inside of Atlas, you are still making, or you are at the forefront, of making those decisions. But Atlas TI gives you a workspace where all this data lives in one place, where every code you create is traceable, which is important, where every analytical decision you make is documented in the memos. It is your audit trail. It is your transparency. And we know that trustworthiness is often a challenge in qualitative research. So that one leg of trustworthiness of data, dependability, you can have that audit trail through Atlas TI. And this matters a lot, at postgraduate level, because your examiners, your supervisors will always ask, how did you arrive at the themes? How do you know this is trustworthy? And Atlas TI can help you to answer and respond to this question with confidence. Um, I just also want us to talk about this CAQDAS, what it means. So CAQDAS actually um, stand for Computer Assisted Qualitative Data Analysis Software. There are a lot, and Atlas is one of them. And the keyword here is assisted. That is why I have highlighted it, assisted. So the computer assists you, it does not replace you as a researcher, as an analyst. There are three main reasons why using a tool like Atlas TI matters a lot at postgraduate level. And I think the first one responds to rigor and transparency. Because when you code your data in Atlas TI, each and every code is linked to a specific quotation in your data. Every quotation is traceable back to its source, and this somehow create what we call the audit trail that we have been talking about, a record of your analytical decision. So if you open one code, you can see from Atlas TI all these quotations linked to that code. You can even see the participants that were contributing to that code, like this Sankey diagram on the bottom left. You are able to see who was talking to this particular code and how much was this particular person, talking to this course. These are some of the nice features that we will explore in Atlas. So when a supervisor or examiner asks, how did you arrive at this theme? You can show them, exactly how. You are not relying on memory or some handwritten notes. Everything that you do, it will be in Atlas. Um, Secondly, why does it matter at postgraduate level? I think the methodological flexibility. So some people think Atlas it's for grounded theory, but it's not true at all. Whether you are doing thematic analysis following Creswell or Brown and Clock, it can be content analysis, narrative inquiry, even phenomenology analysis or multi-methods. Atlas can support you. Even when you collecting data using open-ended survey, it can support you. So the software does not dictate your methodology, but rather it support whatever approach that you choose. The third aspect is that is around efficiency and organization. So imagine if you have 15 interview transcripts. each say maybe 20 to 30 pages long. That can be up to 400 and more than 400 pages of data. Now imagine trying to manage that with Word documents and colored highlighters. So Atlas put everything in one place, your documents, your codes, your memos, your visual networks, all integrated, all searchable, all organized. Even after you have analyzed and you want to revisit it after 2 years, you will find all your data organized. So I must address um, this elephant in the room because some students come in thinking the software will do the analysis for them. Well, to some extent, some AI features can code for you. Yeah, but it will end there. So you are at the forefront, of analysis, and Atlas TI it just assists you. So you still have to read your data. You still have to think critically. You still have to interpret the meaning. So the software only helps you to organize, but you as a researcher, you think, always remember that. Let's also go into some core concepts. So Atlas TI, just like any software, it has its own language. So before we go into the software, I need you to be aware and understand some core concepts. So think of this as the building blocks of each and every Atlas TI project. Number one, documents. So these are your raw data files, your interview transcripts, focus group recordings, whether in Word, in uh, PDF, images, or even video files. So when you start the project in Atlas TI, the first thing you do will be to import your documents because you have to work with real data. And this is your data living inside the software. Number two, quotations. So a quotation is a segment of your data that you select because it has a meaning. It can be a sentence, a paragraph, a portion of an image or a segment of an audio. When you highlight something in a transcript, it matters, and that is a quotation, and we will go into that. And these are the things that you use when you are presenting your findings, pulling in those key quotations, the verbatim quotations from your participants. So it is one of the building blocks. We have codes. Number three, so a code is a label. It's a label that you attach to a quotation. And it's like your way of saying this segment is about this particular concept. For example, if a participant says, um, I felt unsupported by my manager, you might code that as lack of management support. So codes at the heart of qualitative analysis. And I always say if you have or if you do the coding right, you are almost 70% done. This is where you will take a lot of time in Atlas TI. But if you get it right, you are you are done, almost done with your coding. Number four, code groups. So as your coding progress, you will have a lot of codes. Sometimes it can go over to more than 500 or so on. So code groups, they help you to organize these related codes into categories or families. For instance, you might have codes related to leadership challenges, then they can be grouped together. You might have codes that are talking to feelings, experiences, challenges, barriers, and so on. Then you can group them together to organize your data. Number five, we have memos. And this is where your thinking lives. A memo is a note you write to yourself. And we know that reflexivity is important in qualitative research, and some students struggle. So in Atlas TI, we have memos. Every decision that you make, analytical decision, you record it. And this is one of the ways that you can write up that reflexivity section. Number six, we have networks. I think most of you will enjoy networks are visual diagrams that show how your codes and categories relate to each other. They always help you to see this bigger picture. And I also believe they're incredibly useful, when you are moving from codes to theme, because this is where now you see those patterns coming up. This is where you see that magic in the analysis. So these six elements, the documents, quotation, codes, code groups, memos, and networks, I believe they are the foundation of everything that we will be doing in this ATLAS.ti workshops. This is how the project looked like in Atlas. We will go into that. So we'll have the home screen, document manager. I'll go into this interface. I'll also go into practical demonstration to show you how you can import a document, the transcript, how you select the quotation, how you apply a code, and how you also write the memos. And yeah, these are some of the notes. Okay, I'll come back to how you can connect with us, but remember, these slides will be shared with you. So when you log into this meeting, the Teams program captures your email address. So that is how we are going to send this recording as well as the presentation slides. So I am aware that some of you don't have ATLAS.ti. You can request it via IT. You can also request it through our college. So here is a link that you can use to request ATLAS.ti. If you are doing mixed method and you need SPSS, you can also use the same link. After you have requested it, it is important that you register an account in ATLAS.ti, and I'll go into this. So you go to www.atlasti.com, and yeah, I will show you briefly on how you do it. But what is important here is that you must use your UNISA email address. Because we are affiliated with Atlas, we have license with ATLAS.ti. Um, Even when you want some extra support, you can directly access it through Atlas TI. So it is very important to register with your UNISA email address. Password, you can choose any password. Doesn't have to be my UNISA or my life. And from there, you can just download Atlas TI. Yeah, there is a lot of support on that. If you struggle, you can always reach out. I'll share this evaluation at the end. I just want us now to go into Atlas TI. So after you have downloaded Atlas, it will be on your desktop, the icon. Then you can just open it. It usually takes a few seconds. In your case, you will have one license, the UNISA license. Then you will open it, and after you open it, this is what you will get. This bar will be empty. So the first thing that you need to do is to open a project. So you go to open project and you can give it a name. You can even type, the title of your dissertation or the title of the article that you are working on, because there will be a lot of projects that you will be working on. So just give it a name that you will recognize from all the documents that you or the project rather that you will be working. And this is how it will come up. But for today's exercise, I want to use this sample project, which I'll also share some with you. So when you open it, it will be empty. The first thing that you will need to do, you need to add the transcript. So you can either drag and drop You can either drag and drop your documents, whether it's PDF or Word. So you can just take it, drag and drop it, and or PDF, same thing. It will be added. But then the next thing is if you add the Microsoft Word, let me just go to the last one. If you add the Microsoft Word one, you will have some editing functions. So it will be easy for you just to delete or add some of the things. But then with PDF, it won't be possible. So that is how you add your material. You can drag and drop or go to Home, add documents, add files, and search these documents where you have saved them, the transcripts. So you can just highlight all of them, open, and ATLAS.ti will add them. You can add as many as, you know, y- yeah, I don't think there is um, a specific limit. So I've seen people who have about 80 transcripts, and ATLAS.ti, handle it very well. So it is a nice software to have. So what I'm saying is it cannot be overloaded. Yeah, but I'm not sure how many documents it can actually handle. But I believe we are all working with less than 200 documents or so on. Most postgraduate students, they will have about 12 to 15 transcripts and maybe 20 to 30 documents, for triangulation and so on. So yeah, it will handle your documents very well. So this is step number one, how to add the documents. And after you have added the documents, they will be under this document mini folder. So you can see all your documents. And after that, you will be ready to code. So if you double click this document manager, sometimes if you have or you are doing this stratified sampling, you have different samples. Like for those who are in education, you might be interviewing head of departments, science teachers, math teachers, the learners, and so on. What is nice is you can even group them, at this stage. And this will help us when we are analyzing deeply, pulling out those similarities and differences between our participants, but we can also do it on the group level. So this is a nice thing about ATLAS.ti. Um, okay, let me open the document manager. You can, for example, say your participant one to participant five, this your HODs, these are head of departments, then you can group them together. 6 to 10, maybe these your maths teachers. You can do it. So after you have uploaded your documents and you have a different sampling, you can group it together here. That is part of organizing your data. So this is the document manager where you will see each and every document that you have uploaded. It can take Word, PDF. You can even analyze your you can even do literature review using ATLAS.ti. We will have a dedicated workshop on that. So this is the document manager, very important. Now, after you have loaded your documents, you have to start coding now. And like I said, this is at the core of everything that you will be doing. So remember I said with coding, code is just a label that you assign to a segment. So you as an interviewer, you have a transcript, and one of the question can be, how would you define a sustainable lifestyle? And your participant because here you have transcribed, they will give you a response, sustainable lifestyle, can be one, two, three, four. So at the sentence level or a paragraph level, you can highlight it and say, okay, but here my participant is talking about minimizing negative impacts. So you can highlight this and go to coding or right click and apply code. It's the same thing. And you can say here it's about minimizing negative impact. So at this stage, many people um, they struggle. So I am encouraging everyone to be free, to be creative. Don't limit yourself. So when you start coding, you'll see it will be on a descriptive level, but as and when you are going, you will start to mesh them, clean them, and they will be more analytical. But don't limit yourself. What you can do, if not sure, you can right click here, maybe edit the comment and make a note, on how you arrived at this particular code. But then because I talk about reflexivity and memos, so the right way to do is just go into memos, open a new memo, and just write every note, your reflections on your coding and so on. So this is how we code in ATLAS.ti. You will go to each and every paragraph, the one that have a lot of meaning, you can highlight and apply some codes. It needs practice, but this is something that you need to do. If you haven't done it, it's fine. We will have some workshops that can help you with coding. And there are nice features in ATLAS.ti. If, for example, you are not sure about how to go about it, you can highlight, go to coding, and ask it, to suggest some codes, and it will attempt. And you can choose um, the codes, that talks to what it is saying. So if you get stuck, there are some tools that can really help you with that. There's also um, let me use this one. There are also some AI tools that can assist you. So if you go to this transcript, you can right click it, go to analysis, and you can go to AI coding. So with AI coding, it will code everything for you. You can do it one transcript or all. But I always encourage students to just try it with one transcript and see what comes up. I don't encourage this AI coding one, but you'll see why. So in a few seconds, 10 seconds, it's going to analyze this for us. So something that can take you an hour or so, this, it can do it in 10 seconds. But then at times it will even code what the interviewer, was asking, and we don't want that. We have to only code the response. So if you are using this option, yes, it will code fast, but then you have to go back and clean it. Some of the codes that it comes with, you will see that they are not related, they're not making sense. So in some instances, you have to just go back and remove these codes or delete them. So there is a lot of work. So whether I mean, it can code in 10 seconds, but then you will spend the same hour, cleaning this code. So if you have, say, 53 documents and transcript, I've seen students who have used this AI coding. It will generate maybe 5,000 codes for you. So you see now you'll have a lot of work to clean, those 5,000 codes, and they can be overwhelming. Um, a better option will be um, uh, the intentional coding. So you can just right click, go to analysis. This will be the tool that you play with the analysis tool. And we were talking about AI coding. So we have intentional AI coding. So this feature is nice because now you tell Atlas, you give it a context of what you want to analyze. So for example, you go to, okay, where AI coding just code everything. With intentional coding, you have to give it a context. This is a study about 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are exploring 1, 2, 3, 4. Give it a full context so that it understands what you are doing. Usually, your aim of the study, the purpose, it can work. Yeah. And after you have given it a context, it will just go into this document and come up with some questions. And it will also come with some code categories. So you can see now it is coding for you, open coding, but it's also moving to Excel coding, making those code categories for you. But because, like we always emphasize, you are at the forefront, you are driving this thing. You can change the code categories. If you feel this is just challenges or barriers, you can always change. If you feel this question is not relevant, you can disable it. You can disable it. If you feel there are some, or rather, it's not addressing some of the research questions in your study, not the interview questions, but those research questions on your introduction. Then what you can do, you can add the questions, type, copy and paste that research question and also suggest a code. So I think it will allow you to do, yeah, about less than 10 extra. Yeah, so you can add your own questions, you can amend and so on. If you think this question is not related to what you are doing, you can disable it. Then after that, you can start coding. So remember, with AI coding, it just started to code, but with intentional coding, at least you give it a context and review the questions and the code categories. And you start, it's also fast, less than 20 seconds. It will code this for you. Let's wait for it. And what is nice about this, if you feel these codes are not related to what you're doing, you can always disable them because you can see this quotation. So you can always disable them. So then you can go to apply and you are done. So it will come up with a lot of codes. Remember, here it's also coding the interviewer, something that we don't want. So you'll have to do a lot of work on cleaning. But at times you will code and you will miss some of the information. So you can just use it to double check. It can be your co-coder, your coding buddy. You can code on the side, come back here and see what code is coming with, and you can adopt some of the code. So that is the right way of doing it. Another function that we have is okay, in analysis. This is will be your friend. So we have AI coding, intentional coding, AI summaries. So with AI summaries, it will try to just summarize everything from your transcript, the key important thing. It's also nice when you are doing content analysis, document analysis, so it can just give you, those key points that are appearing on this. So if you are doing content analysis or doing literature review, it can also do that. Let's attempt this one. This is an article, so you would have read the article, but then it can easily summarize, the key points from this summary. You'll see this paper discusses environmental actions at home, emphasizing 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what the AI summary can do for you. We also have conversational AI. Conversational AI, what it does, it yeah, this is your research buddy, so you can always ask it a question, about uh, this article or a transcript, and it will always come up with some answers for you. So you can type a question and ask it, any question, what theories, for example, were used and how, were they applied in the study. So this is your research buddy. You can ask it anything, and then it will try to pull whatever you are asking it, because sometimes it's just difficult, to really comprehend some of the things. So these are some of the nice tools that you can use in Atlas. So you will see it will pull out the theories that were used in these articles and the application, how they have been applied. So that's what ATLAS.ti can do for you. And after you have coded, this is the nice part. Remember, it takes time. After you have coded, all the codes will appear here. And if you look at this window, you have the name of the code, grounded, and density. So the grounded, these numbers, they show you, it's a number reflecting the number of the quotations inside of this code. And the density, it also has the number, so it shows you, this number reflects, how many times, this code co-occur with other codes. Okay, for example, you have barriers. You will see it has 46 here. So if you double click it, you will see all these quotations from various participants or documents. And these are the quotations that you can copy and paste into your Word document. So when you are presenting your findings and you feel, yes, I want to use this specific quotations, you can copy and paste it into your Word document. Another interesting thing is that, for example, attitude, or let me just take this behavior again. We have 6 quotations. So maybe, for example, you want to see who, was talking to this behavior. Go to analysis, show code document analysis. These are some of the real tools that you can use, even Sankey that I use in my diagram. You can see that, okay, for this particular code, these are the people who were talking to it, but you can see this one was talking a lot. And when you double click, you'll see all those quotations. So nice tools that you can use. I talk about cleaning the code. So sometimes when you code, there will be instances where there'll be a lot of synonyms. You put labels that are the same. So you can easily take this code, drag it to this one, and merge it. So you can either adopt the barrier or attitude. So that's how you match these codes. And I talk about density where they are relating to each other. So you can also take it, drop it on this other code, and you can choose a link. If it's part of attitude, contradicts it, strengthen it, or you can even write your own, relation. You will see, for example, let's see one that have that is co-occurring like behavior. You'll see it has uh, um, uh, 24 other associations. So you can, even if you want to make, a diagram, you can go to show in network, and it will show you these relations, how um, it is relating to other codes. Obviously, this is a lot, but you can always play around with how you want it to be and focus on specific um, code. So these are some of the things that can make your life easier when using ATLAS.ti. But then, like I said, coding is very important. This is at the core. So what is important is to just try to understand what the participant is saying, highlight it, and come up with a concept. 2 or 3 words, I think it will be enough. But yeah, we will do a lot of exercise on coding. That is why I have this evaluation form. It's a long one, but here I just want to hear where you are and what kind of data you are analyzing and what kind of support you need, from us. And we will integrate your needs to the program that we are trying to finalize. So I will also send it via email to everyone, but then maybe let's take some few seconds. You can just uh, use your phone to open this QR code, then we will entertain some questions. So in just a few seconds, you can just grab your phone, open this link, and start to evaluate, give us information. What I'm interested here is to get the kind of data that you are analyzing and the kind of support. You'll see it's a lengthy one, but it will help us to deliver, the workshops that can really assist you to move fast from this analysis uh, phase. So I am just going to um, just stop sharing and go to the questions